All right, McKenzie, I appreciate you doing this. Thank you for joining us on the call.
My name is McKenzie. I got in touch with Sky Credit with you, in this case, Eddie, a long time ago. I would say maybe over about a year and a half ago. I was starting out my personal business and I needed to fix my credit. That worked out great. I think we got along pretty well to begin with. My credit went from, I believe it was like 500, I'm over 750 now. And that actually happened within 6 months after starting to work with you guys. I now run multiple businesses. I have an online business. I have a private coaching academy, which is why I reached out originally. And I run a restaurant in downtown Tampa. Over the past year, we became one of the best Peruvian restaurants here in Tampa. And it all started with good credit. Having good credit
Good.
helps to do a
Awesome.
lot of things. So
I'm very
I now
glad.
manage a Florida youth club. That's what I do now.
That's awesome to hear. You've been able to do many things with credit now. If you were to take us back before you met me and everything, what were the issues that you were facing with credit?
Well, I had some collections, long-term collections that were showing up on my credit reports, and they're gone now. That's helped a lot.
That's awesome. So back in the day when you had these collections, what were the obstacles that you were trying to overcome? I'm guessing it was because you were trying to get business credit. Is that correct?
Right. I was trying to get business credit, which just started the process now about a month ago, or not even, maybe a couple of weeks ago. It took a while anyways, just to make sure that everything was lined up. But yeah, the main issue was just trying to get credit.
Absolutely. And before you met us, I think Elvis referred you to us. Is that correct?
Yes.
So before
Yep.
Elvis referred you to us, did you try any other credit repair services? Did you try doing it
I
yourself?
did. No, I did. I had another company, but I forget their name.
We don't need to name names, but like how did that go?
Yeah, it didn't work. I think I was with them for like 6 months and I was paying them. I don't exactly remember. I don't know if it was monthly or overall sum, but they didn't do anything.
Gotcha.
They would send out these letters and I had to try to keep track of that. And the fact that you have a lot of people that are constantly reaching out, pretty much, I would say I'm reached out at least 2 or 3 times a week on the credit repair side by different people in your organization. It's worked out pretty good.
Awesome, awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Once you reached out to me, Elvis referred you to me, and you were able to sign up and get to the process going. How was the onboarding process? Was it easy, understandable? Were you scared? Was it confusing? How did that go?
Yeah, to be honest, this is where we get honest, man. It wasn't easy. At first, I was dealing with you directly,
Right.
and then all of a sudden, things kind of changed, and I started getting calls from a bunch of different people
Right.
in different time zones, in different accents. Not, of course, I'm an immigrant myself. I don't say it in a discrediting way, but especially when you're dealing with your credit and your personal information, it didn't really make me feel very good.
Right.
Especially because there wasn't any upfront communication from your part saying, "Hey, you're going to be, reached out by all these different people." And a lot of times they would schedule calls with me, and they wouldn't show up. They wouldn't really know exactly what was going on. And I think that was more at first when you transitioned into, I think,
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
more of a
because
leadership role.
yes, because when you joined us a year and a half ago, that's when I was trying to transition from me doing it everything myself to
Yeah, I mean, I figured
yeah.
it's just the transition wasn't very smooth.
Right. No, no, and I appreciate the honesty. And I hope that's something that we've been able to improve on now with the business credit. And I'm pretty sure, in a few months, we'll be able to do another one of these for business credit. But yeah, no, I appreciate the honesty. Now that I'm thinking
Yep.
about it again, probably something that I've overseen again because we've been doing it for a while now. I should probably reach out to my sales team, be like, let's make sure that we're telling them like, hey, this is a big team and to expect phone calls from multiple members at different departments.
Yeah, I remember one time somebody told me, "Hey, we're gonna get together at 11 a.m. your time." I don't know, et cetera. And they started asking me all this personal information, and I'm like, "Am I talking to Sky Credit? Am I getting scammed right now?" And then they were like, "Oh, I'm sorry, we couldn't show up. There was a big typhoon out here. We've been out of power for like a week." And I'm just like, "Who am I, giving my social security number to?"
Right.
And that aspect of it was a bit scary. In fact, I almost shied away from the whole thing just because I wasn't sure. And then I think I spoke to you directly at that point, and you
Right.
kind of reassured, "Hey, this is us. You're safe," kind of thing.
Yeah, no,
Um,
no. I
I
appreciate
I
that.
think it'd be good for other people to know.
I'm glad for them. Thank you for that eye-opening experience. After onboarding and getting the whole process, now that I was reassured, like, hey, this is us. No worries, your information is
Yeah.
safe. When in that moment, when in the process of us fixing credit, did you realize, like, holy shit, this is not like the last company where nothing was working. When did you start feeling like, holy shit, this is actually working?
They basically just started telling me, hey, this collection notice of your credit report, hey, this is off TransUnion, and then my credit started to go up. So I'm like, yes, they must be doing something right.
There we go. That's awesome. That's awesome. So at the end, can you tell us your overall journey?
Overall, you guys are getting the job done, man. That's the main thing. I think, you can clean up your customer service along the way. I know it's only been a year. I mean, this kind of work, I'm sure it takes a long time to iron out and make sure everybody's on the same
Right.
page and you got lots of people working for you now. But the job is done. It worked. And I got nothing to say about it. Just the process maybe was a little bit rocky. Maybe for
Yeah,
me, because I was one of the first ones. But for other people that are just going to join now, it's going to be a lot easier
it is.
and a lot better for them. I do
Awesome.
remember getting lots of phone calls, man, at different times of the day. Sometimes I get phone calls or a text message at like 8 p.m. my time. Hey, they're gonna send you a code. Can you text
Right.
us the code? And I'm just like, it wasn't like, hey, we're gonna get on a call at this time, and you're gonna get these codes given to me, and then see you
Yeah.
later. We'll catch up in a couple of days. It was like every couple of days, at any time of the day, I'd be
Yeah.
having to do this, which sometimes was okay because at the time, but some other times it kind of caught me at
A
a weird
wrong time.
time, and of course you want to make sure that you're able to communicate.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So exactly. So now because of that, we also started changing and making it like an appointment, but not really an appointment. Like, hey, just make sure you're available in these hours because we're gonna call Chase on
Right,
your behalf,
right.
or we're gonna call the credit bureaus on your behalf, or stuff like that. So now we're
Yes.
doing like
Yeah,
scheduling
I did start to get that
appointments.
now.
Beautiful,
Yep.
perfect. Okay, awesome.
Yep.
But now that your credit's finally fixed, you're taking advantage of it because you're gonna get business credit. Is that correct?
Yeah. So now I'm working with you guys to do the business credit.
What are you gonna be using the business credit for?
Well, to be honest, I'm gonna keep it as a backup just because we are working with an investor right now who
Nice.
is pretty much upfront everything for us, and we are set to build a sports complex in Tampa here pretty soon. But we gotta have some backup. You gotta have some money in the bank. You gotta have some
Just in
lines
case.
of credit just in case things need to get solved quickly.
Any last parting words that you want to tell, or just anybody watching this as a future potential clients? What do you recommend?
For your potential future clients, man, my credit got fixed. I got nothing to say. It worked. I highly recommend it. I know that you're working hard, man. I know you're going to make it happen for a lot more people. For the company personally, you're still working through things. Maybe the scheduling side of things could be a little better. For example, for the business credit side, my first funding appointment on a Friday at 11 a.m. last week, kind of playing around things. I was there 11. Nobody showed up. I waited for a while. Oh, yeah, this guy called in. Your funding specialist called in sick. He wasn't here. Bummer. But I was already, you kind of planned from a
Right.
consumer side of things. You kind of plan your day around things. So then we rescheduled for Monday. I actually had a family trip. I took a plane. I was like, I'm going to take this plane so I can be there for the funding meeting. I got there. Nobody showed up again. So those kind of things are still a little bit frustrating, but I know you're working on it, man. I also know that you have done your part to work with me in this case. We've been doing this together for a while. I think I was one of the first ones, and I appreciate everything you've done, man. Support your work. You just got to talk to your people, man. And
Yeah.
if they schedule once or twice, man, maybe the
That,
second time at least
yeah,
show up.
that's the
One
that's
time they don't show up, it's okay.
that's the problem with dealing with once you grow bigger. It's like you can't be focusing on micromanaging everybody, otherwise you're
Right,
insane. And it's
right.
you gotta then realize that these are like 9 to 5
Yeah,
workers, things
yeah.
pop up and it happens. But
Eddie, they're also not communicating properly as much. So, for example, I got called an invoice for the 10%, even though we had reached a deal with Russell. It seems to be a little bit of miscommunication between all the
yeah,
assistants.
you're the
Uh,
only client I've ever done that for. Just letting that's
really,
so that's why as soon as the funding got done, it's an automatic, like the treasury goes and
I
does the
figured.
invoice right away. That's why I was like, oh, we've never done that before for any clients before. So
Hey, Eddie, I appreciate it, man. I
no worries.
appreciate it.
I totally get it. At the end of the day, we're here to help people out. If that's what works for you, then we'll try to make it work. But man, dude, McKenzie, I appreciate you so much again. Thank you for joining on the call. You're one of those clients. I know we're gonna be lifetime partners, and we're gonna keep working.
Yeah, yeah. I got my wife set up to work with you guys next.
Let's go.
Because she's starting her business and she needs to get business credit. She needs to fix her credit. I have my business partner who's going to start to work with you too. He is the other half owner of Sporty Patagonia. So he needs to do this as well. I'll spread the word, man. I know you guys are working through things. You're doing good things, and I got your back, man. Just like you got
Appreciate it.
mine, I got your back. I'm going to send you some
Appreciate
people.
it. Thank you. Appreciate it.